January 12, 2026. A day that will be etched into the annals of British political history. A day a former Chancellor of the Exchequer declared war on the party he once sought to lead. The man who held the nation's purse strings, who oversaw its greatest medical triumph, was now its most high-profile rebel. This is the story of Nadhim Zahawi, a story of ambition, controversy, and a defection that triggered a political earthquake. To understand the tremor, we must first understand the man who caused it. His journey began not in the hallowed halls of Westminster, but thousands of miles away, in a nation on the brink of chaos. Baghdad, 1967. Nadhim Zahawi was born into a prominent Kurdish family. His grandfather, a former minister in the Iraqi government. But their world was about to be shattered by the rise of Saddam Hussein. In 1978, the Zahawis fled, arriving in Britain as refugees. The young Nadhim, unable to speak a word of English, was thrown into a new world. A world that, at first, didn't understand him. But from these challenging beginnings, a relentless ambition was forged. He co-founded the polling giant YouGov, a venture that would make him a multimillionaire. And it was this venture that would later sow the seeds of his downfall. Zahawi's rise was meteoric. MP, minister, the celebrated vaccine minister during the COVID-19 pandemic. And then the pinnacle, Chancellor of the Exchequer. But a shadow lingered over his success. Questions about his tax affairs, specifically the £27 million of YouGov shares held in an offshore trust in Gibraltar called Balshore Investments. For years, he denied any wrongdoing, even threatening legal action against journalists. But behind the scenes, a different story was unfolding. In April 2021, HMRC launched a formal investigation. He failed to declare this investigation when he became Chancellor. He failed to declare it when he ran for Prime Minister. And in September 2022, while in charge of the nation's taxes, he quietly settled his own bill. The price? Nearly £5 million. The revelation, when it finally came, was devastating. An independent investigation found a serious breach of the ministerial code. On January 29, 2023, he was sacked. Cast into the political wilderness, Zahawi watched as the party he served for decades crumbled. A disastrous 2024 election, a new Labour government under Keir Starmer, and a growing sense of betrayal on the right. But as one power waned, another was rising. Nigel Farage's Reform UK, once the Brexit Party, was now a major political force, feeding on discontent with the mainstream. One by one they came. High-profile conservatives, from former Culture Secretary Nadine Dorries to former party chairman Jake Berry, abandoning the sinking ship. And then came the biggest prize of all. The man who had been at the very heart of the establishment. At a packed press conference in London, Zahawi made his declaration. "Our wonderful country is sick," he said. "It has reached a dark and dangerous chapter." And then, the words that sent shockwaves through Westminster. Britain needs reform. Britain needs Nigel Farage as Prime Minister. For Farage, it was the ultimate validation. For the Conservatives, it was a nightmare. The defection didn't just steal a headline. It threatened to steal the very soul of the British right. Nadhim Zahawi's story is the story of modern Britain. A story of immigration, ambition, and the intoxicating allure of power. A story of how the lines between public service and private interest can become dangerously blurred. His defection has fractured the political landscape, leaving a Labour government facing a divided opposition and a nation questioning where it goes from here. Was this an act of principle, an act of revenge, or the calculated move of a political survivor? As Britain heads towards an uncertain future, one thing is clear. The political earthquake of January 12th has only just begun. The aftershocks will be felt for years to come.